Meeting on May 27th, 2026. I'd like to welcome all of our guests here this evening, and also thank you to my board members for coming tonight and really working to make Danbury the best school district in the state. So with that, I will move on to the pledge. Lauren, can you please do roll call?
Al Almeida. Kate Canetta. Here. Gladys Cooper. Here. Dr. Cronin. Lauren Daly here. Juanita Bush Harris. Cindy Henry. Here. Sherry LeBlanc. Here. Sean Ratchford. Here. Minnie Santos. Here. Louisa Britton.
Here.
Evening tonight, looking at a complete full packed house of wildly successful students in our school district and their very supportive parents. So we want to thank everybody for coming out and bringing your child, and students, we're glad that you're here tonight. This is very exciting. We have two distinct awards to present tonight from the board, but also from the myself as a superintendent, and also the principals of the schools who have selected and nominated students. We have the Western Connecticut Superintendents Association Award, or the CAPS Award from CAPS, and we also have a CABE Student Award as well. And so what we're going to do tonight is to recognize you formally is we're going to ask your principals to come up by school, and then we will present, the principals will present the certificate and maybe say one quick word, just one quick word.
Who are you looking at over there?
I'm mostly looking at Mr. Donovan, quick on the quick part. And then we'll students like a very nice photo. Hopefully we'll get behind our wonderful emblem here, and quick snap, and then we will to bring the next group up as well. So we're very excited again to have everybody here. Before we start, I want to first tell you a little bit about the Western Connecticut Superintendent Association Award. We already had a wonderful evening, but this is a formal recognition at the board level, which is definitely important. So each year, the Western Connecticut Superintendents Association, or WCSA, hosts an award ceremony for outstanding students in each school district based on three criteria: community service and service to others, academic prowess or relative to ability, and leadership service to the school community. The following students were selected by our principals and were recognized at the recent WCSA event, and they are invited back here tonight with additional Board of Education recognition. At this time, I would like Broadview Middle School Principal Andrew Lambo to step forward, and the board chair and I will come around and meet you.
our first recipient of the Western Connecticut Superintendent's Association Award is Frankie Intieri. I don't believe he's here tonight.
Oh, no. No Frankie, but, okay.
He's an incredible young man. He is always eager to get into the classroom. A pivotal part of Broadview Middle School. You see him in the hallways, you see him in the cafeteria, getting off the bus. He is always there with a warm smile and leading by example. He is epitome of a Broadview Bear. So great job, Frankie. Our next recipient she is here today, Zoe Calderon. Zoe, much like Frankie, is an incredible student and a part of the Broadview community. She is part of peer leadership with Ms. Miller, and she's also part of the newly formed Student Government Council. She took on every task and every opportunity to not only advocate for herself and for her class, but every student at Broadview Middle School. She did a wonderful job bringing life back to Broadview Middle School, letting us know what we need to do for the students to have a memorable experience, but also upheld the same responsibility and commitment in the classroom as well. Wonderful job, Zoe. Yep.
Everyone else, she's the first one, so everyone's watching, right? Okay,
You're welcome,
we're gonna fold it back. We'll put it right at your hip, nice and square. I'm gonna take a great photo. Congratulations. Park Middle School, please. Again, just brief comments, because we have, we could go on for days about these amazing students.
That's right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming. I have the honor and privilege to recognize two individuals tonight. The first is not here. I'm going to speak briefly about Darlin Perez. Darlin Perez is a pillar of the Rogers Park community, not just for her academic prowess, but for her work with the Roar Report, our student council. She leads with pride. She bleeds green and blue, our school colors. And she just exemplifies everything we look for in a middle school student. So congratulations to Darlin Perez. Next up, and I get to celebrate him again, and I wish you could see me saying this, I'm going to call him up, Emmanuel Fernandez. Please come up. Emmanuel took a trip with me to the local elementary schools to get kids excited about Rogers Park, and his presentation skills were incredible. But it's not just that; it's what he does outside the classroom. He leads by example. He's an absolute pillar in the classroom. High honors pretty much every term. He does robotics. There's not much he doesn't do. So Emmanuel represents Rogers Park with pride, and we thank you for all you do, Emmanuel.
Okay, and next up, I'd like to call up Westside Middle School Academy Principal Mike Flynn.
All right, presenting first up is Alex Sanchez. And Logan Schneider. I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say this about all four of them, first two being introduced here. At one point or another, this is the school leadership they do come up big in big moments. We had moments during the school year where they had to present to the new teacher project and give feedback there. They also were part of the welcoming committee for Allison Brady Johnson when she came in. She met some of these students when they came in. And our food services program needed students that would provide honest feedback, weren't scared to be critical. And I know these students are very strong in their leadership and very intelligent and articulate. And I know that they would give the feedback that any of these committees needed. But I'm very proud to have them at the school. They are very strong leaders and very well deserving of these awards.
Next up, Principal of Danbury High School, Dan Donovan.
We'll figure it out. See who's first. All right, if I can have Nicole and James come up. I know both of these, I believe. Where are you, James? Quiet. James is a member of the ROTC, as you saw, as a high-ranking member, and I got to see them. James present in front of our ROTC unit when it was up for inspection and did an absolutely fantastic job in knocking it out of the park, so much that the ROTC unit got, say it for me, distinguished unit with merit or something like that, and the highest ranking you could possibly get. And then Nicole, I ran into Nicole when I watched her present. It was at HOSA, right? And she presented and ran the whole HOSA induction. And with that, you're looking at two students who are in easily the top 5% of Danbury High School with grades, like all of the students that will be in front of you tonight, but they did an excellent job, and their public service is phenomenal. So James and Nicole.
And then lastly, the Alternative Center for Excellence, Principal John Weber.
Thanks, everybody. Believe it or not, at ACE, we do things a little bit different. I don't actually pick our awards. We vote on them. We have a couple rounds, and we go through and we pick them as a staff. So I get one vote. That's all I get. The first two people I'm going to be celebrating are Avery Ruiz and Jamie Vargas. I told them I'm gonna keep this pretty brief too. But Avery on the right here, next to Kara, is one of our most caring people in the building. So multiple times she's won the Ace of Hearts Award, and that speaks a lot to who she is. Jamie here on the left is somebody who became a leader, didn't come in as a leader, but became a big-time leader in the school. She's our one of our yearbook editors, performs at Coffee House, playing music last year, again this year, which is tomorrow, in case anybody wants to come to Hatters Park to our Coffee House. So this is Avery and Jamie.
Okay, now we have a completely different award that we have not fully presented, and this is the CABE Award. And the CABE Student Leadership Award recognizes student achievement and leadership qualities. And leadership is a quality that is hard to define and not always demonstrated by all citizens. CABE developed the below criteria that help to define leadership, and our principals have selected these students based on the following skills and characteristics: willingness to take on challenges, capability to make difficult decisions, concern for others, the ability to work with others, willingness to commit to a project, diplomacy, ability to understand issues clearly, and ability to honor a commitment. Very important qualities. So with that, I'd like Broadview Middle School to come on up. Principal Lambo again.
So I'm looking out, I don't see Ricardo Simpson is the recipient, and Casey Magana, I don't see her, but two of them, Ricardo and Casey, are exemplary Broadview Bears. They come in each and every day ready and willing to learn, and not only lead by example. When I had to make this decision on these two students, one thing that stood out to me was the ability to make good choices in the classroom, in the hallways, and in life. Looking at these two day to day in the hallways, getting off the buses, in the cafeteria, friendly with everybody. And what stood out for these two students is their ability. You see the gears going. Are they going to make the right decision, or are they going to make a mistake? And they always make that right decision. When everybody was going left, they chose to go right. So Casey and Ricky aren't here today. Ricky. But one thing, since Ricky's here, always does the right thing at Broadview. Part of our leadership community at Broadview, one thing that stood out that Ricky did is when the hurricane hit Jamaica, Ricky came to me and said, I would like to support this cause. He teamed up with students, families, and teachers within the Broadview community and earned a lot of money and a lot of resources to send down to Jamaica. So, Ricky, well done. We're going to go up here for a picture.
Got here just in time, Mom. Congratulations. Okay, and next we have Rogers Park Middle School Principal again, Michael Boucher.
Thank you. All right, so I'd like to call up, first off, Emilio Garcia and Kirsten Gillespie. All right, so Emilio, we have a lot of leaders at Rogers Park, but he is someone that has demonstrated outstanding dedication, not just in the classroom, but in all things he does. So he approaches his studies with commendable work ethic, he leads by example, and he truly embodies the ideal middle school student. This was all your teachers had the same sentiment about you. You've made a huge impact on your team. Congratulations. Kirsten is someone that is diligent and responsible, as described by her teachers. She willingly takes on challenges in and out of the classroom, leads by example, and she's not afraid to help out. She is often a willing participant in the classroom. She shows both diplomacy and a genuine concern for those around her. Congratulations, Kirsten.
Okay. And then if we can have Principal Mike Flanagan of Westside Middle School.
Well, it wasn't planned this way. Before I had 2 young men, now I have 2 young ladies coming up for this award. Like I said before, all 4 show leadership. I can't thank them enough when I need help for many school activities, including the staff versus student basketball game. Maren was there for that, helping out. Many activities when we have 6th grade orientation and kids need to be shown around. We use the NJHS kids to help out with those activities, and they show their leadership and giving tours and helping parents during conferences. But they show leadership in different styles, but both gets them to the point of collaboration, teamwork, and they both have great, great hearts. In the case of Gabby, if you saw our play this year, probably the best Mary Poppins you've ever seen in any production. So, can I have Maren Kakis and Gabby Newton come up?
Okay, Danbury High School Principal Dan Donovan.
Thank you. I have another 2 outstanding students coming up here. And this one, we kind of, as a staff, and looked at it as a little bit different. I'm going to start with Lucas. Come on up, Lucas. Lucas took advantage of every aspect that at Danbury High School had in the classroom, between all honors classes, AP classes. How many post classes? A lot of 10 post classes. He was probably leaving us with, 20, 30 credits probably about 30 college credits. And next year we'll be starting the fall at, I believe, Dartmouth, correct? So he'll be going to Dartmouth next year. So he can Ava is special because Ava took on what Danbury High School has the best to offer when it comes to all that. Come on up, Ava. Come on. Involved in the color guard, band, musical, everything that's extracurricular about Danbury High School, Ava was involved in. And if you need someone to advocate for a group of people or take on a cause, it's definitely Ava. She's going to Eastern next year to study elementary education, and we'll be... And hopefully we make the right move in about 4.5, 5 years, hire her back to Danbury.
And last but certainly not least, the Alternative Center for Excellence, Principal John Weber.
Thank you. Our 2 award winners are Jordy Rivera and Jalen Perez. Can you come up?
Okay, we will continue on with our agenda. We're going to move on to public participation. Lauren?
The Board of Education welcomes public participation and asks that speakers please limit their comments to 3 minutes. Speakers may offer objective comments of school operations and programs that concern them. The board will not permit any expression of personal complaints or defamatory comments about Board of Education personnel or students, nor against any person connected with the Danbury Public School System.
Okay, first on the list, I have Jerice and Max.
Good evening, members of the board. We are students at Danbury High School here to advocate for better funding to connect the main and west campuses. As students move through high school, choice becomes increasingly important. Electives and specialized courses help students explore career interests and develop skills, as well as discover what they want to pursue in life. Before the school was divided into 2 campuses, students still had access to a wide variety of classes because teachers and courses were all located in one area. However, when the new campus was created, transportation between campuses during the school day was not included in the budget. Many classes remain primarily at the main campus, and without transportation, these students cannot access them during the school day because they cannot get transportation. As a result, students are losing opportunities that were previously available to them before the main and west campus.
For example, I've participated in orchestra for 8 years, and before the campus split, students were offered a wide variety of music classes, such as orchestra, band, and many others. And after the split, while the main campus kept the majority of classes offered, the west campus was forced to narrow down to a more general band class, and orchestra was discontinued. Because transportation between the campuses was not available during the day, students were forced to miss out on opportunities that they've been working for years. So in speaking with Principal Mr. Donovan, he explained that a transportation system would cost approximately $3 million to connect buildings during the day, increasing access to classes and reducing the need to duplicate specialized courses across both campuses. We ask that the superintendent and the board recognize transportation as a necessary part of the 2-campus system and to include this funding in future budget planning so students at both campuses have access to equal educational opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. Carla?
Okay. Good evening, Board of Education members. I'm Carla Pereira, and I teach social studies at Danbury High School main campus. This year, I'm teaching AP Government and Politics, and as required by the College Board, students have been diligently working on a civic action project of their choice. Standing behind me are 4 gentlemen out of my 40 AP students this year who I've had the pleasure of teaching and overseeing their projects. They will be sharing a little to you all about the action steps they've taken, what they've learned, and they are eager to share a proposal with you all to continue growing our district into a place where all students will continue to thrive. Thank you for your time and your continued support of Danbury teachers, staff, and students.
Thank you. Okay, we have Cyrus, Tanya, Asselin, and Gregory.
Good evening, esteemed Board of Education members. We are students from Danbury High School. His name is Tanav. This is Cyrus. My name is Gregory, and this is Aislinn. Tonight, we are here to discuss the effectiveness of the academies of Danbury High School. For our capstone project, and as the first students to undergo these academies, we investigated general opinions and the effectiveness of the academies in their current state. We have done this by speaking with a school administrator, Mr. Davidson, conducting a survey to gather a student opinion, and we will speak with Mr. Donovan next week. in our meeting with Mr. Davidson, we have found that as an administrative group, the staff at Danbury High School is actively working towards improving the benefits of each academy, such as internships and job shadowing, and they understand the current slow start of the academies, but many of the previously wanted things are not being met.
After reviewing the survey results, we found that a majority of students don't feel they are well informed about the changes going on in their academy. An example of misinformation that even some of us faced was in the Cybersecurity Academy, where we were told that one of our senior level courses weren't going to be offered. After a conversation with Mr. Davidson, he explained the process of selecting courses for our academies and that this course would be running for next year.
And in addition, general consensus from students is that the freshmen picking their academies are unprepared to do so because young students entering high school, in most cases, have little to no idea of a future career, and the semester-long career exploration class has done little to help. So as a solution, we propose this to Mr. Davidson, and we'll be proposing to Mr. Donovan next week. Now we're proposing to you, the Board of Education, an academy fair for freshmen in the Exploration Academy to participate in and observe what students in each academy do.
In this academy fair, students who are already enrolled in each academy would showcase their skills, projects, and experiences to freshmen before they make their final academy choices. This would give freshmen a clear understanding of what each academy actually involves. By seeing real examples, freshmen would be able to make a more informed decision about which academy best fits their interests and goals.
We appreciate the school's effort put into upholding the academies, and we generally believe that it offers significant opportunities to students. While the academies provide valuable opportunities for students, there are alternative pathways for continued growth to better support student education. This is the main reason we are voicing our concerns about the academies at Danbury High School. We hope you consider our ideas. Thank you for your continued efforts in improving the Danbury education.
Boys, don't, just stay for 1 sec, fellas. Come back for 1 sec. I appreciate the Academy Fair idea, very much so. We have seen this in some other places, and it is spectacular. So we'll get there. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, next on the agenda is our consent calendar. Gladys?
I make a motion that the Board of Education approve the consent calendar with Exhibit 26-81 through 26-83 in accordance with the minutes from Exhibit 26-81, the Board of Education regular meeting 2682, and the Finance Committee on Exhibit 26-83.
Thank you. Motion made by Gladys. Do I have a second? Seconded by Kate. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Do we have anybody from the educational staff here? I see none. Student representatives?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Lori Huaman, and I'm the BOG president. And as we wrap up another school year, there are many highlights to celebrate across our school community. Today, our elementary school students enjoyed track and field day at the main campus, showing great teamwork and school spirit. Juniors celebrated the prom, and seniors did as well on May 23rd, and we look forward to the upcoming senior barbecue. All AP tests have been taken, and seniors have also planned their after graduation plans and committed to a college or trade school. And spring sports have came to an end. At the same time, we are already preparing for the next year's fall sports program. And we are also preparing for student elections for the 2026 and 2027 school year. Yeah. And we also encourage students to get involved in leadership opportunities. Lastly, graduation will take place on June 18th, and we are honored to invite everybody of the Board of Education officers to join us in the celebrating achievements of the class of 2026. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I want to introduce a very special new partner who's been waiting a long time, happened to come on a night when we were full of awards and lots of things at the beginning of our meeting. So Mike Flynn, if you can come up. Mike is the Danbury Clubhouse president and CEO and has a presentation for us to talk a little bit about some updates with the clubhouse. So we appreciate that you're here. Kristen, thank you both for coming. We appreciate that you were able to wait for this moment. It's been a long beginning to the board meeting.
Thank you, Kara. We felt right at home. I mean, seeing the recognition and the principals speak, it's just a lot of parallels to what we try to do at the Boys and Girls Club. So I want to start by thanking you all for having us here tonight. We're very excited to be here to share a little bit more about what we've been building in Danbury and really building together. We wouldn't be where we are in a short 4 or 5 months without the support of Danbury Public Schools. The leadership has just been fantastic in partnering with us and getting behind this. So as Kara said, my name is Mike Flynn. I'm the president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club. I'm also here with my longtime colleague, our executive vice president, Kristen Goncalves, who will be up to share a little bit here tonight, as well as Chris Leonard, who has been on our board of directors and has helped lead our organization for close to 30 years and has been a key player in all of our growth and development over that time, but certainly a key player in us moving into Danbury. So, you know, a little bit deeper dive into the Danbury staff, and I apologize if I can't figure out how to use this. Yeah, that helps. There you go. Thank you. But a little deeper dive, obviously myself, I've been with the organization for 24 years. Kristen, as I mentioned, 18 years of service as an executive level person in our organization. And 2 key faces at the Danbury Clubhouse specific is Jeff Pitlack. We brought Jeff in 26 years in the Boys and Girls Club movement. As things started to develop and this became a reality, we started to talk to Jeff about an opportunity here in Danbury. He was previously the Chief Operating Officer of the Boys and Girls Club of Stanford for 15 years and was currently serving as the CEO and COO of the Boys and Girls Club of Greater New Haven. But we talked to him about this opportunity. He was very excited to take this on with us, so he joined our team in June of last year in preparation of getting things moving to the city here. And then Devon Lawrence, 11-year member of our staff, is now moved into the Danbury role as our Director of Club Operations. So 11 years of experience with the organization. So those are really the 2 faces that lead the Danbury Club day to day. Obviously myself, Kristen, our board of directors are there as well behind this effort. But you know, a lot of decades of youth development expertise that we're bringing to Danbury every day. And so I wanted to share that with the Board of Ed. Just to, you know, kind of get to know our team a little bit. As far as where do we, you know, everything really starts with the mission, and our mission is simple. It's been the mission of Boys and Girls Clubs for 160 years, and that is to inspire and enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens. And we do that through a variety of ways, which we'll talk about here in a minute, but that is a collective effort throughout the organization and really club to club. As some of you know, Boys and Girls Clubs of America, one of the most recognized and trusted youth development organizations in the country, really across the world now. We have Boys and Girls Clubs on native lands. We have Boys and Girls Clubs on military bases. In total, 5,500 locations across the country that serve 4.2 million young people a year. So it is a federated model. We are a chartered Boys and Girls Club. Our Danbury Clubhouse is chartered under the Boys and Girls Club of America. So a lot of resources come with that and a lot of experience. So you know, as I said, 160 years, the mission and the model has been refined, but, you know, it still continues to this day. And the need is real, as many of you know. 3 of 4 children in America lack access to after-school programs. And that is kind of what we exist to change here in the community. Our impact in Ridgefield, we've been in the community for 90 years, 1936. The then Boys Club was opened. And over those years, obviously, have earned the trust of our families, our schools, and our community. Currently, today, we serve more than 3,500 kids. Those are regular users of the club in Ridgefield, so that encompasses summer camp, after-school program, before-school program, teen programming, but kids that are club members, active kids in the clubhouse. So it is a large, large membership, and we have provided over $1.5 million in financial assistance since 2019, which is about 38% of our members to access our programs, which are already set to be low and affordable. So that is another arm of the Boys and Girls Club. We've already begun to do that and helping a lot of our families that are at the club that need that support. We'll continue to do so. So that is a large part of what Boys and Girls Club does. In our club, we've been, recognized as a top-performing club. Our organization, as some of you that were, I know Dr. Casimiro, Michael, were at the ribbon cutting in Danbury. We did have Jim Clark, the national president and CEO there, to speak about how important this is for Boys and Girls Club to come into the community. We are very active, kind of nationally to make sure our voices are heard. And we've been the beneficiary of numerous, recognitions over the years and national awards. So that's our organization, and that's sort of what we're bringing in here to Danbury, and very excited to, have this opportunity in the city and to meet many of you tonight. When school is out, the club is in, so people often think of the Boys and Girls Club as an after-school program. We kind of get lumped into that, and we are an after-school program. But the club, I think, is really so much more than that. We are open before school, not yet in Danbury, but if there's a need, we'll certainly look at that. We're opened during all school vacations, whether it be spring break, days off, professional development days, anything that's not a major holiday. The club is open all day long, and as I said, throughout the summer months. We partner with Ridgefield Public Schools during the day to host a transition program for the 18 to 22. We also partner with the Alternative High School program and actually run their phys ed classes. This is all in Ridgefield, and partner with the ESY Summer Services program. So just some things that we've developed over the many years working with the schools specifically. And really the stat that kind of drives everything that we do is 20% of a young person's waking hours are spent in school. And the club is really here for that other 80%, right? And how do we put our arms around these kids and families that need us? Danbury families have been with us for many years. I would say probably the last 15 or so years as our club has grown and become more regional. The need for summer camp specifically has led a lot of Danbury families to attend. We understood that need, pretty much right away when we started to look at areas around us that could really benefit from the club. Danbury was certainly the very top of our list, and it just took some time to kind of get a foothold. I think in the last year or so, a space finally became available that made sense for us, and we were ready. So since opening in January, the Danbury Clubhouse, thanks to the support of Danbury Public Schools, has already registered 330 members, and we are now averaging 215 kids a day walking through the doors. Another thing to note is out of that 215 a day, 50 of those students are teens and tweens, so middle school and high school, which is a big stat in terms of Boys and Girls Club, looking at kids that can connect and connect in those formative years. So off to obviously a great start. I think the transportation being provided from most of our public schools is really what has led us to this early success. I can't thank the Board of Ed, Kara and her team enough. I mean, great leadership. As soon as we met early on in this, she wanted to get behind it and has made things happen in so many ways. And so, we're fortunate to be in this community. We're fortunate to be able to work with such a great group of leaders at this level, and it's really made all the difference in the world. So we know the demand is here. As I said, we are supporting families who need financial assistance, and will continue to do so as we look to run summer camp and open summer camp, which I would say wasn't in the initial plan for year one, 2026, but the need is there. The families need us open. And so we're in the process of getting that licensed. It won't be to the extent of the Ridgefield camp, but we do believe we'll serve about 200 kids a day, and hopefully be able to grow from there. Ridgefield, our Ridgefield camp is actually the largest state licensed camp in Connecticut in terms of number of kids a day, and we obviously anticipate the Danbury Club really being able to grow. And so very excited to share that. Very excited for the first summer to kick off. And, why Danbury, why now? I think we all know that there's a lot of, kids in the city. Just heard some great examples come through here tonight. But nearly 1 in 5 Danbury residents is under 18, which means there's a lot of children in Danbury, as you all know very well. And 24% of children in Danbury live below the poverty line. More than half of the Danbury public school students qualify for free and reduced meals, which I know is 100%, but based on the numbers, which you guys know all of this information. But really, these aren't statistics. I mean, we are seeing these kids come through the club doors every single day, and we're able to meet that need. So, I want to take this opportunity to, thank you, and I'll thank you later after Kristen runs through some more programming. But without your support, we would not be, where we are. And, there's a lot more work to do, but I think it's nice to celebrate. 4 months in, we're beyond where we thought we would be, thanks to the support of the school. So. With that, I want to just touch on and get a little bit more into club programming, just to give you a little bit deeper dive. And I'd like to call Kristen up to kind of walk us through a little bit more on the club programs, the impact that the club has, and a little deeper dive on things.
Thanks again for having us here. I see a lot of familiar faces around the room. I was born and raised in Danbury. I'm pretty sure Mrs. Cooper taught me how to stitch a pillow in Broadview Middle School, if I'm correct, and I may still have it. No? Okay. Sorry. Close. Okay. So club programming, and these are across all Boys and Girls Clubs, as Mike mentioned. We have access to that national Boys and Girls Club programming. And so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but just wanted to touch about the 4 core areas that we have, and all our programs are centered around those. And what makes our programs different is not just what we offer, but how we offer it and why we offer it. So our programs are rooted in the formula for impact. Every program we run is guided by this. It's a research-based theory of change refined over decades. It identifies 5 key elements, which you could see there: a safe, positive environment, supportive relationships, a sense of belonging, high expectations, and opportunities for meaningful belonging. When these elements are in place consistently, we know that young people achieve greatness. And for us, this is not just a philosophy, it's a roadmap. And every single program that we offer follows that. So I won't go into all the programs, but we, by September, will follow almost what we're offering in Ridgefield, and we'll have about 50 different programs that are offered for all club members. There truly is something for everyone. Every program that we offer is evidence-based and outcome-driven, and they're all designed and tested through research with Boys and Girls Clubs of America. And as you could see, through the outcome-driven club experience, we know that we have outcomes that are measurable. So 4 in every 5 club kids reports earning mostly A's and B's. 8 in 10 help them, say the club helped them graduate. A large part of what we're focusing on now is career readiness, a job exploration. So 9 in every 10 club teams feels ready to get a job. 81% of our seniors apply for post-secondary education. That does include some of the trades that they're learning, learning to get certificates and stuff for as well. And then beyond the numbers, and these are some things that actually we are already reporting on out of the Danbury Club, but we know that what kids and families are hearing every day, they have improved confidence, stronger relationships, a sense of belonging, a trusted adult in their corner. And for many of our members, the club is one of the most constant, stable parts of the day outside of the school day. And for their families, they're already telling us it's giving them a great peace of mind. Back to you to wrap it up.
So in Ridgefield, our partnership with the public schools was developed over many years. And we've been able to do that through open communication, shared focus, showing up consistently for the same kids that we share. In fact, one of the recipients, Avery, is a club kid. She joined the first day we opened and has been there ever since. Actually, he's working a couple of days a week. So, already kind of seeing that connection, but obviously serving the same population and the same needs. And we hope we can continue to build on that here with our Board of Ed here in Danbury and our public school officials. And our promise to you is simple. We will be here. We'll be consistent. We'll show up year after year as a partner that you can count on. And we hope that as time goes on, you'll think of us as an extension of the curriculum, an extension of the staff, an extension of the program. And we've really been able to build that, in Ridgefield and have that relationship. And so we hope, and we know we're off to a great start, but we want that to continue. And so with that, our long-term vision is bold here in Danbury, but I think it's clear. We want to be the premier out-of-school time destination for every Danbury child. Obviously, some growth will have to come with that. Many of you know that the location is the old Y, 12 Boughton Street, which is a great location. 215 kids a day in there it's a pretty full house. So with that will come some growth, however we get there. But there's just so much need and so much opportunity. We want this to be available and club programs and outcomes to be available for all kids. Not just the ones who happen to live nearby, not just the ones who can or can't afford it, really every child to be part of the Boys and Girls Club in some capacity. So that's our long-term vision. We are a full continuum of programming, a true community anchor. We hope to build that here in Danbury as well. And that's what we're working towards. And, just so thankful to have your partnership and have your support, because that really does make all the difference. Chris and I have talked in Ridgefield. It was the better part of 20 years to really get to where we are with that partnership. And we're already, well ahead here because of the support that we've gotten. So it just makes all the difference in the world. So, wanted to show you guys a few pictures here. This is just some recent shots. We've been having fun here in Danbury, seeing ice cream social on spring break, kids all outside hanging out, bike safety program. We have been able to connect with DPD on a few different programs already. We want to continue that partnership. You see the kids' swim lessons. I think I mentioned in our council meeting the other day that we had already 61 club kids participate in swim lessons. And the way we kind of look at that is that's 61 kids that otherwise wouldn't have learned how to swim this year. And so there's a lot of opportunity there. And special events, Kristen mentioned some. We've had several teen nights, very well attended. A couple of special events with the kids. It was at Spice City, the soccer club. We had 50, 60 kids attend that game. Couple different special visits. Representative Hayes and Mayor Alves came through. So the kids were excited about that. So, you know, right in the backyard, you see big population of kids, and, you know, the families are just so appreciative, and not just appreciative of the club and the opportunity, but I think the, you know, the partnership with the public schools. You know, they know that they're being afforded the opportunity to get to us every day. So really just want to express our heartfelt gratitude to the Board of Ed, to Danbury Public Schools, for the warm welcome, for all you've done for us, specifically Dr. Casimiro, Michael, and Kelly Watson. You know, right away, the trust and the support was there, and it's really made such a huge difference. So thank you for having us tonight. A couple quotes here from the Boys and Girls Club kids. These are our Danbury kids. I don't know if you can read that. But the staff at the Boys and Girls Club doesn't just tell you to do your best, they help you get there, is the first one. My eyes are going on me, so I don't know if I can even read the rest of them. But, you know, you get the idea. This is kids, you know, 4 months into having a place to go every day and already getting those messages is pretty special. So wanted to kind of end with that. And again, just thank you for having us. We're really excited. We'd love for you to stop by the clubhouse any afternoon, particularly around 4 o'clock, to just see it in action. You know, you got to see it in action. You got to be, you know, you're going to have to kind of dodge some dodgeballs, basketballs. You know, we've got a lot moving around in there, but really come in and see it. Would love to have everybody see it in action and connect with it. I think that's the best way to do it. So thank you for having us, and any questions, you know, you have for us, we're open here.
I would just like to ask the question, is there a fee for the students?
There is a fee, Gladys. It is essentially for the full fee, those that have the means to pay, it's a $50 a month membership, which is, you know, entitles them to come every single day to the Boys and Girls Club. So, you know, we really try to keep it low and affordable. What we found with summer camp is it's very, for the population that we're serving right now, any fee structure that would be similar to a typical summer, even Boys and Girls Club summer camp fee is tough. You know, so our summer camp right now, we rolled out, is $200 a week. That camp runs 8 to 5 every day. But it's a large number, you know, so we're already, you know, we've reached out to families that need that help, and I would say a large percentage of those families need some sort of help. I would say probably 80% of the population needs help with that fee. So we've got a lot of work to do with that. I think, you know, part of that philanthropic arm that we have is to raise those dollars, you know, whether it be public or private, to make sure those things can continue to happen. But there are fees, but the whole idea is very low, very affordable.
So you have something in place that if a child really needs one to go and the parents cannot afford it, do you have some type of strategy to help that?
Yes, we do. Yes, essentially the simple answer is we'll never turn a child or family away because of their inability to pay any of the fees. So, you know, we have those conversations, but very, you know, informal, not invasive. You know, here's the fee. What can you potentially do or not do? And we try to set something up and make it, you know, comfortable for them and easy for them. We don't want the fees to be a burden for the families.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I just have a comment. I just want to thank you all, right, Mike and Kristen and Chris. You know, this provides another amazing opportunity for the kids in Danbury, an affordable opportunity. The research, you know, that sticks with me is that from 3 to 8 p.m. and what happens. And so many of our families work multiple jobs around the clock. So students, if they're not at school, participating in something that we're doing, they're home. They're either, kind of hanging around waiting, or they're in their neighborhood. And we know, because we get the reports, a lot of times when things happen, it happens after school. And knowing that there's a safe place for students to go that is, really thinking about the student as a whole child and their well-being, and it's not just a babysitter. There's real academic, social emotional components to what you do, and leadership things that happen in informal and formal ways. So we're appreciative of it. I feel like in the last couple of years here, between what we're offering now with a revived Park and Rec department, the offerings that are coming online, and the care and commitment there, what we have offering our students through the clubhouse, the opportunities that they're going to be gaining through the school system, that the local community is on the rise and are supporting the families that are here. So thank you for your efforts in the work, and this is not an easy space to be in, and we're here to continue to partner with you and to make it as easy as possible.
Thank you so much, Kara. Thank you to everybody. And yet we're very collaborative too. I mean, that's a great point. And I think part of what the Boys and Girls Club is part of the community. So however we can work with other groups, talk to Sean a little bit before the meeting about working together, that's what makes it happen. So thank you again.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out.
Yeah, you're on.
Okay, we're on a roll here. All right, it's been a long but wonderful night. Just a couple of updates, real short updates. One, we had the pleasure of having a partnership with a company called NC3, which offers the training. They're the training body that offers certifications and professional development towards different types of certifications that we'll be offering at the high school, and specifically partnered with a group called Festo, who makes the actual machines and equipment that our students will be using at the high school. So they're one of the companies that we use. And over the course of last week, we had our teachers engaged in 5 different days of deep learning on some of the new equipment that we have purchased, and also the certifications that we're pursuing. So that was Intro to Mechatronics and CAD with a program called Onshape, Intro to Bionics, Intro to Robotics, and then Intro to AC/DC. So some of that was the equipment that we had in that greenhouse room that was not quite utilized yet. So we were able to start doing some trainings on those systems, because we're rolling out some of those pathways. We're going to get started with those components of it next year. So it was amazing to see the teachers engaged with the new equipment. They were like kids in a candy shop. There's a lot of learning to do. We had some of our robotic arms that finally came in. So and I'd love once we get up and running to take the board to go see them. But those are the arms you see in a factory that are moving parts. And they were learning how to code and program them to do certain functions, because they're going to have to teach the kids how to do those very things when it comes to some of those certifications. So it was a wonderful day of training. Kind of a little bit in tandem with that, just an update on the state commission work. So as I mentioned before, I've been named to the commission, and the update to this is that I'm now co-leading the Pathway Design and Governance working group of the 4 working groups in that commission. So Danbury will have a lot of voice in the research around this model, what it could look like for the state. And then also, I think they put me on that committee because I think they want to use us as part of the model for what it looks like when the school system goes wall to wall. So we're excited about that. There's a lot of meetings in between the larger meetings. There's probably about 10 larger meetings up in Hartford between now and December. And the goal is to create a working paper and a framework for other high schools to follow, and then a governance system and infrastructure from the state on how we all work together and who governs what and how it should be funded, suggestions for funding. And then the goal is to get it done before the next legislative session, the big one, where we hope that there'll be some alignment to explicit funding around workforce development and career pathway development for school systems moving in this area, with an eventual expectation that everyone goes in that direction. So it's very exciting, and from time to time, I'll give you some short updates on that as that work progresses. I'd like to kick it back to Allison, who's going to talk a little bit about NCAC. We did hear about this in the curriculum committee, so, and I think mostly everybody was here, so if you just want to give us a brief summary of the NCAC update, that'd be great.
Sure. So the National Career Academy Coalition came out to Danbury last week to work with a group of middle school and elementary school principals to really build out a pre-academy model, grades K to 8, which would give our students early exposure to the career pathways so that they have a better understanding of what the pathways offer and what the careers mean prior to getting to high school, which I think will solve one of the concerns that one of our students shared this evening. So they'll have multiple opportunities between elementary and middle school to engage in experiential learning around the various pathways. So the next step of that work that we engaged in is they will work with us to develop a 3-year action plan to roll the pre-academy model out over the course of 3 years.
Great, thank you so much. Any questions? Okay, and then just the last update, which is just an amazing one. If you don't know already, we have a Blue Ribbon School in Academy of International Studies, was recently named. It is a very, very, very fine distinction in the state. There's only 6 schools that earn the distinction across all levels and you know, middle school, elementary, high school. It's a pretty big deal. I received a phone call from the state a few weeks prior to let me know, and was sworn to, you know, had to button my lip, and that was not easy for me, if you know me, and kind of sit on that information for a bit before we could tell the school what was going on, because the governor's office had to release it first. So I had to defer to the governor, but that's okay. So there's going to be a celebration, I believe it's the first week of June, where the principal and myself, I believe in one other person from the school that the principal designates, will go for a celebration with those other 6 schools. And it's a brand new program. The federal government did away with the regular Blue Ribbon school process. And so when that happened, Connecticut decided to develop their own. So it's the Connecticut Blue Ribbon status. So it's a little different than what it was before, but quite rigorous in terms of standard. And they called and asked all about the school and why we thought that, you know, like what's happening in the school. They talked a lot about the culture of the school. They wanted to know about leadership in the school and the systems in the school. And likely they did that with the other 6 schools as well, but there'll probably be some opportunities for professional learning community for those schools to get together and for us to learn a little bit more about what they all have in common. So, very much anticipate that. But we're very excited for them. We have either a breakfast mornings, that we're planning for them, or pizza, depending what we could pull off between now and the end of school. So we're excited and we're very proud. And that's it for my update.
Okay, thank you very much. Our board standing committee reports, we're kind of winding down our committee meetings, but does anybody, our committee chairs, have anything they want to report? Kate?
Just a quick update for policy. You'll see that the next meeting is scheduled for, listed for June 3rd. We are going to reschedule that meeting to June 11th, same time, 6 p.m., due to the We Race graduation happening on the 3rd.
Okay, and we'll also, be having Kara send out an email for the committee chairs to start looking into schedules for the 26-27 school year, to start putting those together, yeah. So get your calendars out. Okay, if nothing on committees, we're going to move on to our action item. Minnie, can you do our motion for us?
Need a motion that the Board of Education accept April 2026 financial report as recommended by the Finance Committee and in accordance with 26-84.
Thank you, Minnie. The motion is made by Minnie. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Lauren. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. we're going back to you.
Yep, either one. We have under information tonight, the Leader and Educator Evaluation and Support Plan for 26-27. So what happens on an annual basis, we're required to submit our plan to the state. Sometimes we have little tweaks and changes, sometimes we do not. We do not have any changes in this particular plan at this time, but it is on for information because the board has to vote for it in the next meeting. Okay?
Thank you. Okay, and for my report, don't have much. We've been really busy the last couple of weeks. I just want to take a minute to thank all of my board members that have been showing up for all of the events that we've had pretty much every night of the week. But it is wonderful to see everybody's faces there. It really means a lot to the schools. It means a lot to me and everybody who's involved. So thank you. Thank you for coming for Teacher of the Year. I thought it was a great event. It just gets more exciting every year. So it was really wonderful, wonderful, and congratulations to our winners that night. We have a couple more weeks of craziness before we finally get the summer off. So keep your sneakers on. We're going to be moving to our final event will be our graduation on June 18th. There's a couple of do's and don'ts for our new people who are coming on. What I'll do is I'll have Kara, I'll put it into an email and I'll send it to everybody so I don't have to bore you here tonight to go over that. But it'll have all, what time to be there, just little things that we need to make sure that we're doing. It's an exciting time for us, and I know it gets really exciting for us to be under the tent and everything happening, but we are there for the kids, so we just want to make sure that we focus on them, not on us. And that's all I have for now. So I'll move it on to board discussion. Does anybody have anything that they have to add or talk about before we?
I just want to remind everybody about the DSABC breakfast on Tuesday morning.
Yes, do we know who's going? I'll be there. Yep, perfect. Okay, great. Anybody else?
The DSABC breakfast.
Yes, the DSABC breakfast is Tuesday morning. Okay. Go ahead, Kate.
Just a real quick reminder, everybody knows we have a board PD session tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Attorney Mooney will be here to talk to the board about the Freedom of Information Act and how that impacts our communications.
And we will have dinner for everybody too. So I know we've had dinner every night this week. It'll be different. Tomorrow's different. The menu will be different tomorrow night. Anybody else? No? Okay. Well, that's all we got tonight. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Motion made by Kate. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Lauren. All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.